Breaking news, Trevor Beggs, a.k.a. newest Canucks beat reporter, has cursed Nils Hoglander, which means if you're listening to this, please wear a helmet. On the other end of the spectrum, did we actually win the JT Miller trade? After all, I think so. This is what happens when you smoke that hope. Let's do this. Locked on Canucks.
The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Man, oh man, I hope you're listening to this. You right now, if you're listening, I hope you're safe because the curse of Begsy might be a real thing. I'm Trevor Beggs. You're listening to another episode of Locked On Canucks. And as always, I'm joined by my brother, some call him my twin, Kyle Bhawan. And Kyle, lo and behold, Canucks training camp, great time. Good to see a competitive atmosphere. Talked to a couple guys one-on-one with the most prominent player in the Canucks. I did a one-on-one with being Nils Hoglander. And of course, the first home preseason game of the season in beautiful Abbotsford, British Columbia. And what happens? Nils Hoglander gets injured in the game. I got a tip from a Locked On Canucks fan about that one, so shout out to him. And of course, after the game, we do media, and Hoglander is seen in a walking boot. And all I'm thinking of, the curse is real, man. The curse of Begsy is real. I 50-minute drive home from my from Abbotsford to my house last night, and I cried for 47 minutes of it, man. Unbelievable.
As you should, man. And Trevor, I don't know what to tell you, man. But I mean, look at how I was looking 3 years ago. Full head of hair, boom, bam, wasn't balding as much. Then me and you started talking more, doing the show together. And the top of my head is just embarrassing. And I'm sorry if that hurts people listening to this or watching this who are also suffering from balditis. But Trevor, man, I think again, I mentioned this to you yesterday, and you brushed it off, and that's your ego. You got that alpha man in you, and sometimes I like to check you, and it's like, yo, Trevor, again, your wife messaged me, Mel Robbins in town, May 10th. She's actually told me she's going with her mom. I think you need to tag along, become a hat trick, and you need to experience the Mel Robbins experience because you got some bad voodoo going on, okay? And as much as I love you doing your job and doing all these one-on-ones, as alluded to in the Discord, join the Discord link in the bio. Don't talk to Demko this year once, please.
I hate to say it, but I was in the scrum with Demko last night.
And now he's not at practice today. Maintenance day. Yeah, he's not at practice today. Maintenance day, though. Just maintenance day. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing. But Trevor, man. Oh, no, though. Can we get straight to the point? Welcome to Locked On Canucks. One love to the Don't Does Art Lab for giving us the West Coast bias. Trevor Beggs just did a hit on Sasson Price. We could get into that. I could congratulate you, but I want to congratulate all of us, straight up the whole community here, because Trevor dropped the name. Again, Sasson Price, say what you want, but it's Sasson Price, legacy program in Vancouver media. And this guy dropped the name Valentino Martini on Sasson Price. So, can you click the round of applause button for all of us, please, for that? Because you didn't sell your soul. Thank you. Yeah. We did it. And we'll talk more about Valentino Martini, all that stuff, and Filipito and why we won the JT Miller trade in a couple of minutes. But again, just holding on to Hoglander and this topic, walking boot, we don't know what that means. It could mean 12 months. It could mean 2 weeks. It could mean a week. Who knows? All in all, though, how much are we going to miss Nils Hoglander?
Oh, we're definitely going to miss him, right? And, I think my thoughts on what he can be in the lineup, they don't necessarily line up with where he is right now, right? Like right now on this team, he's a third-line winger, right? With the potential to play higher up the lineup, but skating with Teddy Bluger and Connor Garland for most of camp. Obviously got some time with Chytil in a couple preseason games. Like the top 6 version of Nils Hoglander, that is a massive, massive loss for this team. I believe, I've said it before, every dayers know, I believe he can be that guy. But the current realistic version of Nils Hoglander, 8 goals, 25 points last year, he's a bottom 6 forward, and that loss doesn't sting as much. But, when you look at the Canucks wingers, DeBrusk, Kane, Garland, Besser, Sherwood, sure, you have some guys that, may have career seasons. but they're all more or less in their prime ages, right? Those late 20s to early 30s, or even on the back nine in the case of Evander Kane. Niels Hoglander is a young winger on this team who could realistically take a pretty big step forward. From that perspective, it is a massive loss. And to be honest, he looked great last night. I thought he was flashing some chemistry with Filip Chytil there. A couple of nice give and goal plays. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Of course, scores the power play goal too, cleaning up Tom Willander's rebound, helping Tom Willander get his first fake NHL point. Yeah, I mean, Hoglander, and of course the training camp, plus the tenacity as well. Looking good. Worked on his skating. Oh my God, man! If Hoglander had some speed, he could be dangerous. But the walking boot, man, the walking boot.
But he's been fast. Like, I think that's why I'm gonna miss him. It's because I feel like there was a small chance that he was either gonna go back to form, right, become a 20-goal scorer again, or B, just be fully tenacious, be Kiefer Sherwood like, because it seemed as if he had a new step, like he did the right work over the summer. And it's not just a mental thing. I think I wouldn't say relearned how to skate, but through 4 periods of preseason in Seattle and in Abbotsford. And again, you saw this firsthand, and correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's the bias. Maybe it's just the adrenaline that these players have because the season's about to start. But Niels Hoglander looked a lot quicker.
Yeah, I thought so too, right? And again, he's about league average in terms of NHL speed. And at a training camp like this, look, the Canucks are the fastest team from the NHL. I think he stands out because of that. But just try to look at it through, does Niels Hoglander look quicker from last year? I mean, I think he does. I think it helps getting on a line with when he was with Teddy Bluger and Connor Garland at camp. He's faster than both those guys, but he looked quick during preseason action as well. And again, I think for Hoglander, one of the big keys for him is, can he earn a spot in the top 6? And when he's there, can he share the puck like he was talking about when I talked to him, right? He's a guy that likes the puck on his stick, likes to make the fancy plays, boom, bam. But can he make sure that, the other skilled guys on his line, like a Chytil or a Pedersen, can they have the puck and can they distribute to him where he's, around the net and then those high danger areas? I mean, for, a period and change last night, it looked pretty damn good, him and Chytil. And then, of course, I had to curse him, man.
Yeah, you have to curse him, and the curse of Beggsy again. If you're listening or watching this, wear a helmet. Don't go outside today. Don't drive your car. If you're driving and listening to this, you might as well be texting and driving. Okay, straight up. And I know that's
whoa. Or just pull over, man. Just pull over. It's all good.
I'm just saying, we're walking a fine line here. All in all, though, get well soon. All jokes aside, Niels Hoglander. Again, I obviously want to see more of him, and I think I was also getting accustomed to seeing him and Chytil expand on whatever chemistry they did have. And if you look at the lineup at today's practice, and again, it's like split squad stuff, it's training camp stuff, but now they got Cootes with Lecker-Mackey and Evander Kane. And with the Hoglander injury, like, we got to talk about Lecker-Mackey just a bit more too on today's episode, because it is all connected. But like, I wonder if there was a world, because the more and more we play preseason and we talk more about training camp, like the less and less we talk about Atu Ratu, the more and more we talk about Braeden Cootes, the more and more we talk about Filip Chytil. And I wonder if there was a world where the Canucks opened up with Chytil and Hoglander being a thing, and Cootes and Evander Kane being a thing, or Cootes and Besser, you know what I'm saying? And now the Hoglander injury may, throw a wrinkle into a lot of this. That being said, again, bringing up Lecker-Mackey, like, who benefits the most from this? Because a lot of people are pointing at the bottom of the lineup, right? They're talking about the Carlsons, the Sassons, the Archdeep Bains, right? I mean, that trio is just dope in the AHL, but individually speaking, a hole has opened up. But for me, I think Lecker-Mackey benefits the most from all this. And I know he's the least talked about amongst all those guys I just mentioned, because for some reason, like, we're so mad at this guy, or we're like poo-pooing on his development, or we're not impressed. And I'm like, yo, shut the hell up. Like, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. And I wonder if he seizes the moment here, because I don't know. I think the pathway for him to bring offense to his team is, somewhat still there, but just in general, making they debut with the Canucks, the big club, come October 9th, I guess, against the Calgary Flames. Like, Hoglander's not here, and Lecker-Mackey, again, could benefit from that.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's He's got some tough competition, to be honest, because, again, I think Nils Hoglander was destined to start potentially. I shouldn't say destined, but there's a good chance he started in a bottom six role, right? And that really isn't the spot you want Lekkerimäki in.
But what if it was with Chytil? What if it's with Chytil? Like, what does the bottom six mean if Chytil and Cootes are like the middle centerman? You know, what does that all mean?
Yeah, I mean, because Lekkerimäki's a right winger, I'm debating about this as we talk. That's that podcasting, man. I'm rattled, man. Nils Hoglander. I entered Nils Hoglander, but
great podcasting. It's great podcasting.
But no, I think Nils with Jonathan Lekkerimäki again. You got Boeser and Garland ahead of him on the right side of the depth chart. I know there's this affinity for putting Connor Garland on the third line, but you're right. I think could Jonathan Lekkerimäki take that spot? I wouldn't call it likely right now, to be honest with you, Kyle. Like, I think it's probably one of those guys like the Linus Karlsson or the Archie Baines, an opportunity opening up for him, considering that Nils Hoglander is more of a left winger than a right winger. And Baines looked pretty damn good. I thought Max Sasson looked great last night as well. So, yeah, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, there's certainly an opportunity there for him. I think this guy's got an outside shot, but Vitaly Kravtsov played his best hockey. You're replacing Nils Hoglander on the top line. That's like, come on, man. That's the other guy I had the one-on-one with. Someone that I'd had a one-on-one with has got to do something, man. Come on.
No, but yeah, honestly speaking, Trevor, it was looking like you gave Hoglander the bump. Like, he was looking good. And I'm like, yo, Trevor and Hoglander, they look alike. They're going to hang out this year. Like, they're probably the same size. Like, yo, hacking darts together, breaking hearts, you know, doing their thing. Like, it could have been a good. And now I was actually thinking about it. We called it the Beggsy bump. I thought, again, you're going to shoot to the sky. Right now, you're ranked 20. You were ranked 23rd best media member in Vancouver because of the curse. You're at 27 now, but the bump would have got you to like the top 20. All in all, though, I do want to, like, I wouldn't say rescue Jonathan Lekkerimäki, but can we all just relax and just not believe that this guy's a bust, or he needs like obviously every player needs a ton of work, and especially like second year North American players need a ton of work. But to me, again, like, he's far from a bust, and I'm gonna keep doubling down on this. Like, what more did he want from him last year? Of course, there's always, again, more work to be done, but he had a magnificent AHL campaign as a rookie. Okay, guys? And we should be more optimistic that a player like this could seize the opportunity. And yeah, maybe we haven't seen the growth in training camp, but the same way we're talking about Elias Pettersson and what he did last year in the AHL and how he developed so quickly within, like, 2 or 3 months in the AHL, we could see something similar from Lekkerimäki. Like, it's not a far cry to say that he could hit a huge developmental curve this season and have a general impact with the Canucks. And we talked a lot about the power play yesterday in the PP1. And, Uncle Ricky brought this up in the group chat yesterday too, right? Like, it's either Garland replacing Miller on the left side. Is it Boeser? We brought that up. Or is it Jonathan Lekkerimäki? Or is, like, if we move Boeser to the left side of the PP1, could Lekkerimäki play the bumper position? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, I think that's probably the Jonathan Lekkerimäki's most realistic path to this team is, can you hold your head above water in sheltered minutes? And more importantly, can you make an impact on the power play? Because that's where this guy is supposed to shine. His puck-making skills in tight are pretty good. I think he's kind of dangling himself into trouble at times at camp in the preseason here. And he's obviously got a very lethal shot. Like, the way this guy places his shot, it feels like a video game, to be honest. So he's got those things going in his favor. But that's his path to making the team, right? I think it's got to be a major impact on the power play in short order here during preseason action. But I'm saying it right now, I'm certainly not calling him a bust. Fans calling him a bust are jumping the gun way too soon. He's a talented player, but I also think unless he's, really proving that he deserves a spot on this team, like, don't force feed him the minutes, okay? Let us know in the comments. Are you doing okay after listening to this podcast? Because, again, the curse of Begsy is a real thing. Speaking of the curse, oh, no. I was going to say the curse of JT Miller, but we're moving on from that because, man, oh, man, are we winning this trade? More on that next year on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the program, let's shout out our friends over at it's FanDuel, baby. NFL season is here. And not only that, my Seattle Seahawks taking on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals tonight. The line has moved in this game. The Seahawks, once underdogs, are now the favorites in this game. Hopefully you got on that line when it was good. The Seahawks minus 1.5 right now on the spread to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Kyle, I'm trying to see who your Green Bay Packers are playing this week.
Dallas, man, Trevor.
No, it's the big game. It's the big game. No, I remembered as I was saying this because when my daughter made my football picks. Wait, can she do that? And anyways, she chose the Dallas Cowboys. So that's scary. That's a scary thought. But that's what happens when you let
that's what
an
happens
unaged member of your family make football picks.
No, that's what happens when you don't raise your children right.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Well, if you're doing a good job raising your children, or if you have no children, make sure you go check out FanDuel. Are you ready to play? Go download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet today. Go Cowboys, go.
People, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Trevor Beck shaking his head at me because I insulted his daughter. Trevor, that's life, man. I'm a Packers fan, okay? I take things personally.
It's funny, man. I actually felt dirty because I've never said "Go Cowboys, go" in my life, and it felt wrong. But you robbed me up there, man. I'm on the Cowboys bandwagon this weekend. I don't think they have a hope in hell of winning, but man, oh man, go Cowboys, go! I'm gonna say it one more time, and I'm never gonna say it again in my entire life.
Oh, you never know. And honestly speaking, like, obviously your daughter would pick the Cowboys. Like, they have a fun name, She doesn't know what a Packer is. It's all good. It's all good, Uncle Kyle doesn't spend a lot of time with her, so it's on me. I'll be accountable. All in all, though, thanks for watching this. Thanks for joining us today. Leave us a 5-star review if you do appreciate the show. We got wives, we got girlfriends. Do the math. We need the help. Hit the like button, and let's keep it going. Trevor, you know what? I was going to get to you, but come on. It's about the people. Let's get to the comments. Man, oh man, I haven't favored it a lot. But Hangia is saying, I'm loving Ulrichsen. Again, Trevor, you were at the game yesterday, the AHL game. I do want to touch on that just a little bit more before we start fantasizing about Chytil and Mancini being the next, the biggest deal and being a part of the greatest trade in Canucks history. But outside of who we already talked about, who else stood out? Who else really, really, really stood out? I know you brought up Kravtsov, but I don't want to talk about it too much. Talk about it.
I'll bring up Max Sasson. Like, Max Sasson was easily the fastest player on the ice last night for either team. The guy's got wheels for days. He had one play on the power play where he tried to he made a bad pass cross ice and it got intercepted. Flames went back the other way. But defensively, on the flip side, like he would have had a breakaway at the end of the first period off of a great steal, but time ran out on him. Look, he's just got some amazing wheels. He's pretty good positionally. I don't think he's ever going to be a dangerous offensive player at the NHL level, but the fact that he's looked so good here in camp and preseason with his wheels, like looking noticeably faster than Aatu Ratu. We keep talking about like Braeden Cootes making this team and blah, blah, blah. Like, I do wonder if Max Sasson, I don't think he's out of the conversation yet for actually making this team on opening night, which says something because they put him at center for this entire camp and through this entire preseason. And again, I like the gap between him and Aatu Ratu right now to me isn't huge.
And honestly speaking, I know we wanted the most from Aatu Ratu, and he could still do it. I'm not going to doubt him. I got a lot of hope in that player, but let's not deny that Max Sasson, I'm sorry, out of everyone that did get called up, and I guess him and Ratu would be at the top of this list, but everyone that did get called up from the AHL squad last year, he had the most success. And I don't think, of course, there's adrenaline involved in situations like this. Like, you're getting your first look with the big club, and you're going to play your best, right? Like, that's just human nature. Look at Trevor, right? First month as a Big J journo, talking to Vitaly Kravtsov and also on Sakaris and Price. Like, you're doing things, okay? But remember that game he played against Florida last year? I think it might have been Miller's return to the lineup.
It was Miller's return. Yeah.
Remember how good Max Sasson was?
Yeah, that was the Max Sasson game. Goal and assist, man. That guy was buzzing.
He was buzzing, and I'm not gonna lie. To me, he's out of. Well, I guess I got to just co-sign with what you said. Like, I kind of like Sasson more than Ratu right now. That is
Yeah.
just true. And Trevor, I did one of those like mock Sportsnet hits last week, right? I think I don't even know if I'm allowed to discuss like what type of show they're trying to launch because like it's not a big. I didn't do a good job though. I wasn't myself, and I was trying to be a prospect guru, and that's like I'm Kyle Bhawan, okay? I should have passed over that lead to Trevor, okay? I made a big mistake. I didn't kill it like Trevor killed it on Harrison Price, but Trevor's the pro, and I'm just a fan. All that being said, when I was asked about what prospect or what young player or what player fighting for a position on the team has the best chance, I said Max Sasson out of the forwards. And I wasn't at training camp. I didn't see how he looked. I just closed my eyes and I was like, yo, who played the best out of anyone that got called up last year? And yeah, again, Ratu had some moments, but for me, based on like a little bit of play driving and the skating ability, it was Max Sasson, man. So I'm happy that you said that, man. The Canucks are deeper than you think. Speaking of which, next comment. Mother Knucker. Leaving this comment, dropping a martini glass on the program. So I guess it's time to talk about Valentino Martini Mancini III, Victorino. Trevor, again, dropping the name Valentino Martini on Harrison Price, really starting the movement. That could be our first cultural movement in the Canuck space. Thank you so much for looking out for us and not selling your soul. But man, oh man, Victor Mancini is doing it all right now, making, I would say, more than a claim to be one of the top 6, not top 7, but top 6 defensemen on the Vancouver Canucks. And just to bring something else to the table, I'm loving his energy, man. I'm loving the celebration in Abbotsford. Again, we're talking about a franchise last year that didn't feel like a team. Something about his smile, something about his pizzazz. I feel like the Canucks need this guy, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, look, he offers a dynamic element to his game. And look, it's not like the Canucks don't have other dynamic defensemen, but when you got a guy with his size and his skating ability and the playmaking in the offensive zone, like, holy crap, that shift last night, like, he's making all of Canucks Nation feel intoxicated right now, right? The toe drag sets up Linus Karlsson cross crease pass. Beautiful grade A scoring chance that Karlsson can't bury. And then less than 30 seconds later, he takes the puck and scores himself. Like, it's just like, who the F is this kid, man? But in terms of him making the team, like, it's going to force the Canucks into some uncomfortable decisions, to be honest with you, Kyle. Because right now, it's your top 4 is probably set, right? It's probably Hughes and Hronek. It's probably Pettersson and Myers. Maybe there's some movement there. But then after that, you got like Forbert, DPD, Mancini, and I guess Pierre-Olivier Joseph sort of in the mix as well for those final 2 spots on defense. And right now, I mean, because Forbert's such a good penalty killer, is Mancini going to bump DPD out of the lineup?
Whoa.
Does the Foot trust Mancini and DPD to play together on their own pairing? Or do you play Mancini further up the lineup? Like I don't know if any of those are an easy decision.
I would do that. Honestly speaking, like for the same reason, well, I guess it's a little bit different, and maybe you can make sense of what I'm trying to say here. But for the same reason we want Garland to be on his own line, like why not push Tyler Myers down the lineup? Straight up. Like I heard it on the broadcast yesterday, and again, I've been comparing Marcus Pettersson to Chris Tanev for quite some time now. Don't you think anyone can play with Marcus Pettersson? And again, don't you think less is more with Tyler Myers? Again, do we want to go into this again? Like, why are we making Tyler Myers a top 4 defenseman lock? I know we have young defensemen and all this jazz, but that experiment is like 10 years old. Stop that. He's way better when he's a number 5 defenseman, and that's okay. So Mancini and Marcus Pettersson, try it out.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Kyle. Even when I was writing about Mancini this morning, it's, him and Derek Forbert, they got pretty heavily outshot when they were on the ice together last season. So did him and Quinn Hughes, actually. Mancini, in his limited time with the Canucks, his best partner was Marcus Pettersson, right? They kind of, shots are about even. Expected goals are like 70% for the Canucks when Mancini and Pettersson were on the ice together. this is a kid who I think is potentially ready to take a step. Now, last night, I think, you heard from Foot after the Kraken game, like he's got to has to calm things down, in the neutral zone. Last night, I noticed one mistake. It was like a giveaway in his own zone in the first period. But other than that, he played a flawless game. Like, if he can tone down the mistakes, I think there's a good chance that this guy could play higher up in the lineup. And Kyle, like you, I think this might be the easiest way to solve the roster puzzle. Is can Mancini begin the season with Marcus Pettersson and push Tyler Myers down in the lineup to play with DPD? Do you still have enough, penalty killing expertise there? Like, the other part of this too is because Derek Forbort plays the left side. Do you trust DPD to be, a regular penalty killer for the Vancouver Canucks? I mean, look, I think it's possible, but these are tough questions to answer for the Canucks management, right? It's when you have this many good young defensemen and two of them could be in your opening night lineup, it does make things a bit tricky for a coaching staff.
It does. It does. And I wonder, and I like Derek Forbort. Again, I like when players prove me wrong, like shove it up my rear end and like literally make me look like a dumbass. Like, why do I have a hockey podcast when I was hating on Derek Forbort that much after we signed him, right? Like, I was like, did we just sign 2 Vincent Darnay's? No, we didn't. This guy proved that he's like an asset, a strong asset, a good number 6, but probably on a good team, like a good number 7. Like, realistically speaking, you probably want more out of a player than just being able to like be a legitimate penalty killer. Like, you need, like, do championship teams have Derek Forbort's on their team playing like 15 minutes a game? I don't know. Still, I don't know. The middling of the pack teams have Derek Forbort being a good penalty killer and being a way better version of Noah Juleson. Sure. But all in all, like, if DPD can learn how to penalty kill just as good, and I mean, how hard is that? I don't know. You have Adam Foote coaching you. Maybe you can make that transition a lot quicker. And again, DPD can replace Derek Forbort's really good penalty killing ability. And then that way you can ship Derek Forbort. And then you free up, what, $2 million? If I'm correct? Which could be wise as well. That's just life. That's just life, yo. And Trevor, I'll say this, not to get dark. I know we have to get to the other side. It's a long episode. We still got to talk about Filip Chytil and JT Miller. Who? Puck JT Miller. I'm on that wagon now. But this is scary. But this year, it's best to like squeeze the most out of Tom Willander, Valentino Martini Mancini III, and Elias Pettersson, just in case Quinn Hughes wants to bounce.
You did go dark there, man. But look, that's not happening. I'm going to tell you why on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. All right, you're back here listening to Locked On Canucks. My name's Trevor Beggs, that guy, Kyle Bhawan. And Kyle, there's 2 reasons why Quinn Hughes isn't leaving the Vancouver Canucks. One is because Adam Foote said so today on the Ray and Driggs podcast, mentioning that he thinks Quinn Hughes is going to be here for another 2 years, and he's going to be here for the future as well. So yeah, Adam Foote, man, with the positivity. Let's go, baby. And reason number 2 being the fact that the Canucks are winning the JT Miller trade. What? Look, I'm not going to go quite that far yet to say the Canucks have won this trade. And I know some of our commenters, getting hyped up about the fact that we won the Miller trade. And in a couple of years, it's going to be a for sure win. Right now, I'm not sold on that. But what I can tell you for a fact is that the best 2 Canucks in the preseason so far have been Filip Chytil and Victor Mancini, the 2 players that we physically got in return for JT Miller. And Kyle, we talked about it before. Every Dayers know Filip Chytil, he's shown the confidence, right? He name-checked JT Miller when he was interviewed at training camp about guys who have come to Vancouver and who have, obviously succeeded in bigger roles. So he looks at that as an example. And then, of course, we've just spent 10 minutes just gassing up Valentino Martini III. I mean, you look at these 2 guys and second-line center, potential top 4 defenseman, and you got Marcus Pettersson. Like, if that's the case, and we're grasping a bit with Chytil and Mancini at the moment. But man, oh man, if that's the case, it's hard not to call this trade a win. It's certainly looking good right now, Kyle.
And it's hard not to be impressed by that if you're Quinn Hughes. Like, even if you got 2 top 4 defensemen for JT Miller, and one of them being, how old is Mancini? 23? 24? 23? Yeah. I mean, that's a damn good trade, man. That's a damn good trade. And now you got Chytil, who again, like I want to wait and see on Chytil. And could he be like a 50-point guy? Yeah, sure. But can he be like a JT Miller breakouts, give me 70 points consistently? I guess a low end JT Miller offensively, maybe. And you again, he's said all the right things. He wants to shoot more. And look at his goal yesterday. And I know there's a lot of pundits out there, and I heard you on Sakaris and Price today talking about how maybe you didn't mean to use the word cringe, but I understand what you're trying to say. Like, when this guy's going coast to coast, head down, doing his thing, like you're scared. You're scared that Chytil's going to get blown up, and boom, bam, there goes another concussion, right? Which there's reason to feel what you're feeling because you're a good guy, you're a nice guy, you're a dad. I get it. But I have a lot of respect for Filip Chytil. The fact that he don't give a puck about getting hurt, and I know it's his brain and his life and all that stuff, but he just wants to be the best version of himself, even after all these injuries. But I'm telling you, this dude is such a gamer, and so in love with the game of hockey and wants to excel. And again, what he told Landon Ferraro and John Shannon a couple weeks ago in regards to like how he loves to score goals. I mean, doesn't that equate to somebody wanting to be the man, having that dog-like energy, wanting to be a star? And dude, like to get to that point, you got to believe in that. And again, Trevor, I'd love for you. Actually, I was gonna say I'd love for you to have a one-on-one conversation with Filip Chytil and ask him about him being a star. Like what does he feel like his potential is? And maybe he'd tell you off the record because he seems like a smart guy too. Maybe he doesn't want to hype himself up too much to the media. But I wonder if he would say like, dude, I think I'm legit. I think I'm a legitimate first round talent. I think I'm like, yeah, high end number 2 center. Straight up. Like I have this belief within me because again, the fact that he's not really afraid to get injured, even though he's dealing with concussions, is telling you that he wants to have a huge impact on this team. And that's beautiful. Like, again, I applaud that. We criticize athletes so much. We get so emotional. I'm a fan. Again, I say bad things. I'm a bully sometimes. Bully Bhawan comes out sometimes because I was definitely raised right by my parents, but I watched too much South Park and WWE. I was kind of raised by Vince McMahon. So do the math, right? Well, okay, hold up. No. Okay, not by Vince. Okay. You get what I'm trying. Okay, I was the wrong guy to say. All in all, though, I got problems. But when I see like athletes who play for my team willing to like go through injury and jeopardize their future just to help their team, aka my team, win games, I'm like, yo, I get for lack of a better word, like my infatuation. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
It rises, man. So I have a lot of love for Filip Chytil right now, man.
Yeah. Man, oh man, the one-on-one with Filip Chytil, man. I'm just
No, Trevor, don't even. Yeah,
it could be dark. That could be real dark. But look, with Filip Chytil, I'm not gonna lie. Like I love watching him play. I think he's got great speed, so good with the puck on his stick. But there were a couple of moments last night where I cringed when this guy's skating through the middle of the ice. I'm just like, is this guy going to make it through a whole season? Like, I do worry about that, but if he can stay healthy, I'm telling you, man, like the Canucks could have a great season and could have a lot to do with the fact that they got Filip Chytil on this goddamn hockey team.
Oh, buddy, great season. And yo, just to end it off, again, Quinn Hughes impressed with management. Adam Foote, give this guy credit saying what he said today. I love a coach like that. I think Quinn Hughes is staying. Thank you very much. Not afraid to say it. Thank you. That's how you communicate. Like Elias Pettersson, take some notes. Even if you're not like you just got to say stuff that's going to get the fans a little bit of positivity and confidence, like that bravado. I love how Adam Foote said he thinks Quinn Hughes is staying. Like, thank you very much. Sakaris also brought it up too. Go check out the interview between Beggsy and Sakaris and Price. It was a good one. Talked about Adam Foote's articulation. And remember I mentioned a couple weeks ago during his press conference when I was like, dude, I was kind of impressed by the way this guy talks. I thought he was a bit more clear than like Rick Tocchet's ability to talk to the media. Now, Rick Tocchet's passionate, but I feel like he contradicts himself when he's talking because he's so passionate and he's like talking like a fan, whereas Adam Foote gives me more, I don't know, straight, narrow, smart guy. He says like one thing. And like, yeah, expands on it. All in all, though, I applaud that. I think Quinn Hughes connects to that. And I think Quinn Hughes is, again, if he is going to stay, he's going to look at the trade, acquiring Mancini, a developing Willander, developing DPD, and he's like, yo, like, I got a stacked decor here. I can be the leader of this committee. That's a good thing. And, oh, yeah, I got some help because when we traded JT Miller, we also got Marcus Pettersson. And before I let Trevor, finish off the episode and just gloat about Marcus Pettersson, I want to preface, for lack of a better word, I felt like I was about to drive off the bridge, drive off Alex Fraser Bridge, straight up, because I was like, I remember leaving Taco Fino after we made the trade, a first-round pick for Drew O'Connor and UFA Marcus Pettersson. It was a whirlwind day. I was emotional. I was pissed off. I was listening to Frank Saravelli saying things like, yo, like, this guy's a bottom pair defenseman, boom, bam, all this jazz. And again, we got to preface, it's going to be easier for DPD and Tom Willander and now Valentino Martini, who's not Swedish, but did train in Sweden this summer, to develop courtesy of Marcus Pettersson being there. And I think Quinn Hughes, he's a nerd, but also just a leader in himself, appreciates the fact that he has somebody like Marcus to lean on.
Yeah, man, oh man, Marcus Pettersson, obviously a great leader in that locker room. Still only 29 years old. It's not like this guy is on the back nine of his career potentially, and obviously just starting a 6-year extension as well. And Kyle, yesterday I'm leaving the rink, and I walk by the weight room in Abbotsford, and I see Marcus Pettersson lifting weights, man, doing some like deadlifts, man, working on the legs. Whoo! I know he's 6'3", 177. I don't know how a guy can be 6 inches taller than me and weigh 10 pounds more than me. But maybe he's packing it all in his quads, man. Nothing matters but the deadlifts. You can skip arms day, but you can't skip legs day. That's the Marcus Pettersson book of working out right there. I'm looking forward to watching more Marcus Pettersson this season. I'm looking forward to doing more of this. And this is talking to my brother, Kyle Bhawan, and more importantly, talking to you here on Locked On Canucks. Appreciate you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, you can like and subscribe on YouTube. On the podcast side, you can go follow us. And more importantly, if you can leave a 5-star review so I can show my daughter, man, oh man, that would make my goddamn day. We'll be back tomorrow here on Locked On Canucks.
Peace, 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 and shout out to foot fetishes, because I definitely have one. I definitely have one. Thank you, Adam Foote, for saying what you said today.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.